It's just kind of who I am. I want to pour into my team as much as possible, and I'm pretty in tune with my body. I can read a room pretty well, and so when I see we're lacking a little bit, you got to step up. But if we're good, you're just there to encourage and give people confidence.
No one expected Sophie Cunningham would reveal a shocking fact that would leave fans, pundits, and even her colleagues speechless when the cameras started rolling. Sophie, who is well known for her aggressive plays on the court, elevated her audacity to a whole new plane. This time, the words reverberated well beyond the arena. Was it a deliberate maneuver, a slip of the tongue, or a call for reform in women's basketball? There's little doubt that what she said, "Live," altered everything. What, then, did Sophie disclose? The final game, the emotional force of a team making a comeback. It was a calamity, a blowout, and a wake-up call, let's face it. However, it was more than simply a defeat for this team. It was an opportunity to regroup, refocus, and come back with greater urgency than before. The pressure was on as the season was halfway through and players were at last healthy. No more slow starts or justifications. And everyone, particularly the starting five, was aware of it. Everything changes when we emerge powerful from the start. The tempo, tone, and message are established by that early hostility. We become almost unstoppable if we are locked in together and attacking on both ends of the court. The starters take the lead, and the excitement quickly spreads. For example, Kelsey is aware that she must ignite that spark. No one is avoiding accountability anymore. Everyone is aware of the risks. However, there are moments that startle everyone in the midst of all this intensity. Similar to Sophie's forceful fall to the ground. The audience fell silent. Colleagues froze. Was she all right? As it happens, Sophie is simply being Sophie. Yes, I'm in pain, but I'm still laughing. That's how she handles things. She had a jump ball in her sights. Struck one of the strongest post players in the world. And it was really painful. Instead of making a big deal out of it, she smiled and gave her opponent credit. It wasn't a performance. It was a lot of guts and real respect. But it goes beyond physical toughness. It's sentimental. It's the capacity to lighten the mood in the locker room, find humor in the most trying situations, and keep the squad going even after suffering a setback. Laughing wasn't a sign of weakness for Sophie. It was a covert form of strength. Speaking of strength, that evening a unique occurrence occurred. Kelsey, who was often quiet, calm, and restrained, shone emotion. Genuine feeling. Everyone was energized by it. Witnessing her act so carelessly. It was more than just enjoyable. It was infectious. You can tell something amazing is going on when the quiet ones start yelling. Sophie was taken aback, but in a good way. She remarked, "There are times when we have to hold hands and tell each other we'll get through it." And what sets this team apart from all Sophie has encountered in her 7 years in the league is that kind of relationship and connection. A thrill, a chemistry, a closeness. They are playing for each other, not just for fun. It's no longer just a game when everyone is grinning and players are exchanging energy. It's a rhythm and a force. And the opponents are aware of what is about to happen when they witness that happiness, that passion, and that unwavering team spirit. Beyond all of that, though, Sophie's post-game remark off the floor was what really caught viewers off guard. What was the topic of the speech, then? Watch this space as we reveal the statements that shocked even her closest allies. No more justifications. The Indiana fever is shaken by Sophie Cunningham's live TV outburst. Every time Sophie Cunningham walks the court in Indiana or stands in front of a microphone, something genuine occurs. There is only unvarnished honesty, no sugarcoating or spin. Her remarks have also been rocking the house lately. After yet another disappointing defeat, Cunningham didn't hold back during a team press conference. She directly acknowledged to reporters that the Fever's erratic play is becoming tiresome. She acknowledged that the team occasionally appears fantastic before disintegrating. She added, "We have good spurts," before posing the straightforward question, "Why are we not being consistent?" It was a reasonable and audacious one that was made public. Whether you feel comfortable or not, it's time to react. She made it obvious. Furthermore, she was issuing a warning rather than merely venting. She repeated what her coach had said in the same tone. "We owe them," Cunningham remarked, adding a perceptive comment. "There's an obligation to fans, to everyone cheering them on night after night." We're never going to shoot 30% again, I hope. That's not just optimism, it's a challenge. She knows the Fever have too many scoring weapons to settle for poor shooting nights. Let's put that into perspective. It has been quite the roller coaster this Fever season. They overcome elite teams like the Liberty one evening. The next time they face opponents with lesser rankings, they appear lethargic. Cunningham acknowledged what others had murmured during a recent crushing defeat to the Valkyries. She had had enough. It was called out by her. We're running out of time, she stated. They had to get up quickly. And it's time to light a fire under our butts. She also backs up her strong talk. Cunningham stepped up to the plate in their preseason opener when rising sensation Caitlin Clark was sidelined. The game went into overtime after she made the crucial free throws. And Indiana won 79-74. Kelsey Mitchell, a teammate, put it succinctly. Sophie Cunningham is that person. She is a canine. Stephanie White, the coach, concurred. She is a player who will be crucial throughout the season and a competitor who offers toughness and adaptability. Cunningham made it clear when she joined the Fever in January following a high-profile deal. She witnessed a group on the verge of something significant. She declined to take a seat on the bench. She came to prevail. There was a purpose behind the actions taken by our front office. Big names, big expectations. Her enthusiasm wasn't hype either, and I thought, heck yeah, we're about to go win a championship. This new chapter in Indiana with Caitlin Clark and veterans like Natasha Howard and Dana Bonner inspired hope. She takes a direct approach. Hold the squad to a higher standard, play hard, and speak the truth. On offense, that energy was evident once more. Cunningham scored 16 points and pulled down 10 rebounds in a recent game against the Atlanta Dream, her first double-double of the season. She wasn't pleading when she gritted her teeth and said, "It's about dang time," showing she pushes herself as hard as she pushes her teammates. Her words are more than sound bites. They're fuel. Fuel for fans, fuel for teammates. When she said, "They're done shooting poorly," she was making a promise. She had no intention of hoping. She was anticipating. Every statement aims to push urgency when an excuse can appear and to ignite a spark where apathy exists. Sophie Cunningham speaks the language of responsibility, which is why her voice is important. She doesn't conceal herself. She doesn't become softer. She doesn't sidestep. She's becoming this season's lightning rod as a result. Fans raise the volume. Even opponents admire her sincerity, and teammates are aware of her standards. However, how did the spectators in the stands and on the bench respond to that momentous occasion? Let's examine the responses from teammates and supporters in more detail. Responses from supporters and teammates. It was more than just annoyance when Sophie Cunningham brazenly said, "No more motion offense," on live television. It was an obvious and loud wake-up call. She summed up what many Indiana Fever players, coaches, and supporters had been silently contemplating for weeks in a single sentence. The team had been playing the same style with little enthusiasm, caught in a vicious cycle. However, Sophie's remark was neither quiet nor courteous. A spark ignited a fire, which quickly spread. Caitlin Clark jumped in shortly after that interview was broadcast. She added just one straightforward but impactful line when she published the video clip on X, which was formerly Twitter. 100% with you. That little post caused a stir. One of the league's most talked about rookies is Caitlin. She was taking a stand when she publicly supported Sophie. Many athletes remain mute, particularly when there is conflict in the locker room. Caitlin, though, didn't think twice. She wanted everyone to be aware of it. She concurred. One of the team's most esteemed veterans, Kelsey Mitchell, didn't appear shocked either. Sydney Colson took a more lighthearted approach, posting a meme of Sophie holding a microphone with the caption, "When the truth gets too real for morning coffee." She was seen grinning during Sophie's interview and later told reporters, "That's the tone we need. Truth in real time." She didn't see it as drama. She saw it as honesty, the kind the team had been missing. It was funny, but supportive too. Teammates weren't offended. They were relieved. Someone had finally said what needed to be said. Fans online loved it. Twitter lit up with praise. One tweet read, "She said what we've all been screaming at our TVs." Another user added, "Finally, someone in that locker room isn't afraid to speak up. Over on Reddit, a post shot to the top of the WNBA discussion board. This isn't just Sophie venting. This is leadership. This is fire. This is the Fever finally waking up. Of course, not everyone was sure it was the right move. A few voices warned that airing dirty laundry on national TV could backfire, but even critics agreed. Sophie got people talking, and that's something the team hadn't had in a while. For weeks, the Fever had been drifting through games, and now everyone was paying attention. Sports media jumped on the story. Yahoo Sports called it a tactical mic drop. ESPN started speculating about deeper problems between the players and the coaching staff. Was Sophie going rogue? Or was this a message backed by the team's veterans? Talk shows picked it apart. Debate panels lit up with theories. Suddenly, the Indiana Fever were the most discussed team in the league. Not because of their record, but because of one raw, honest moment. And players from other teams took notice, too. Some applauded Sophie for being brave. Others warned that speaking out like that could cause problems down the road. But everyone agreed on one thing. It made the Fever way more interesting. And for a team desperate for wins, being interesting was a win on its own. In just a few days, everything changed. Fans who had stopped watching were tuning in again. Sports shows that usually skipped over Fever highlights were now giving full segments to them. Even casual WNBA followers were asking, "Who's that Sophie girl who called out the playbook?" Sophie Cunningham did more than merely express her opinions. She might have changed the team's culture. She was not attempting to be courteous. She wasn't waiting for someone else to make things right. She got up, took the microphone, and spoke what everyone was thinking. It was powerful regardless of how daring or dangerous it was. Thus, something changed without anyone formally announcing it. Sophie began to grow beyond her role as a player. She turned into the heartbeat. The unexpected glue, the serenity among upheaval, the laughing despite suffering. Is Sophie Cunningham taking on a new role? Is she going to be the locker room's next real leader? To learn the specifics, stay right here. How Sophie Cunningham took charge in the locker room. Most people envisioned Sophie Cunningham as the astute seasoned shooter who would work with Caitlin Clark and the Fever's up-and-coming players when she first arrived in Indiana this season. But they soon found out that Sophie is subtly evolving into more than simply a player. She is turning into the locker room's competitive and emotional center. Energy was the first step. Cunningham's presence was evident in the early games as he dove for loose balls, contested every rebound, and never gave up. She recorded a 16-10 rebound performance off the bench following a recent victory over Atlanta. Her smile turned somber during the post-game interview. "I supply the vitality. I'm the feisty one. I can be a bit sassy." There was more to that spark than just points. For her teammates, it set the tone. When your team is under duress, that kind of tough consistency important even though it may seem insignificant. Throughout the season, Cunningham has been outspoken, particularly following defeats. She received a flagrant 2 after defending Caitlin Clark during an altercation during a heated match versus Connecticut. She received recognition for her courage to speak up even after being expelled. It was applauded by teammates and supporters, demonstrating that she had gained respect. She is not just a physical leader. Sophie has emerged as the one keeping things together in the face of mid-season difficulties, injuries to important players, increased media attention, and mounting stress. She was direct about the team's attitude following a difficult loss to the Sparks. "Everyone's schedule has us highlighted. Nobody is fond of us. Everyone in our changing area. We have no one else to rely on but them." It was more than commentary. It was a cry to solidarity and an appeal. The way she handled the move from Phoenix to Indiana is what makes it even more remarkable. She freely admitted that she became overly at ease in the Mercury system. She now embodies all of Indiana's values, including championship culture, veteran experience, and a will to succeed. She actively states that she wants to teach Caitlin Clark and the younger players what Diana Taurasi taught her. The Fever F front office obviously recognized something in Sophie that went beyond her shooting. She is a strong competitor and one of the finest shooters in our league, according to General Manager Wnba, who also highlighted how well she fits into the team structure. Her leadership is appreciated, as evidenced by the GM, coach Stephanie White, and players like Dana Bonner's confidence in her. Colleagues concur. Sophie's energy is unparalleled, according to Clark. On social media, teammates referred to her as a keeper and praised her leadership and contagious charisma. Veteran Sydney Carlson, meanwhile, observed that having Sophie in the locker room delivers a mix of hard work and enjoyment, revitalizing the team's bond. Her performances on the court support this. Just when the Fever needed to go down, she pulled off a double-double against Atlanta. In order to continuously keep teammates focused, she also led warm-ups, spoke throughout rotations, and used her voice. That constant effort and mindset turned into a message. We are competitors, not just bystanders. Fans remark that Cunningham embraces her Midwestern heritage off the court. She made a joke about Indiana having the finest supporters on the radio following a decisive victory over Dallas. We must defend our home court. They are fierce. Like me, they're snarky. Her relatability has strengthened her relationship with the Fever faithful and established her as a prominent figure in the locker room. Cunningham has subtly assumed the role of the emotional anchor, a subtle but effective one, despite ups and downs. The person whose energy permeates the room, yet not the loudest. The person who keeps working hard and encourages her coworkers to follow suit. That stability turns into leadership during an uncertain season. Her message to comrades reverberates across the locker room as the pressure mounts and the Fever is highlighted on everyone's agenda. We either unite or disintegrate. But after all of this effort and perseverance, one question remains. In reality, who is Sophie Cunningham? As we reveal the woman behind the fire, stay tuned. The rise of Sophie Cunningham and her transformation into the Fever's center. Sophie Cunningham is more than simply a name on the roster. She is the seasoned guard who has emerged as a key component of an emerging Indiana Fever squad. She was born in Columbia, Missouri, on August 16, 1996, and quickly exhibited multi-sport versatility in addition to basketball talents. At the age of 6, she earned a black belt in Taekwondo, filled in as the high school football team's kicker, and excelled in both volleyball and hoops. Cunningham created her fame at Missouri University. 2,187 career points, a spot in the school's Hall of Fame, and other SEC awards every year. The 2019 WNBA draft followed. The Phoenix Mercury selected her 13th overall, and she quickly established herself as a dependable two-way player. A significant mid-career change occurred in early 2025 when a 4-team deal transferred her to the Fever, following 6 seasons in Phoenix when she solidified her status as a reliable floor spacer and team glue. She joined Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, and Dana Bonner as part of Indiana's ambitious effort to become a serious competitor. Cunningham expressed her approval of the change. The transfer, she said, was a new beginning. Something superior than Phoenix, not simply larger. A chance to embrace the Fever's identity as a run-and-gun team designed for energy and spacing while pursuing a championship. She also covered topics other than basketball in her preview with Indiana reporters. Going back to the Midwest was like going home. She talked about how playing in front of her family and embracing Midwestern fans and culture made her a community fit rather than just an Indiana player. Cunningham became an instant multi-purpose weapon on the court. She made an impression throughout training camp by guarding like a power player, shooting like a wing, and moving like a guard. Her exceptional adaptability was noted by onlookers. She was a perfect match for the Fever's combo-heavy lineup because she could play anywhere from 1 to 4. She delivered when the season began. She came off the bench to record a 16-10 rebound double-double in a crucial game against the Atlanta Dream. She also made 4 triples, blocked a shot, and collected an assist. She summarized her strategy after the game. I supply the vitality. I'm the feisty one. I can be a bit sassy. I will outwork anyone, she continued. Her enthusiasm has ignited culture as well as offense. She was open about the connection between the Fever. Long practices, supporting one another, and forming strong bonds. Championship teams are built on that cohesiveness. However, it was during a contentious game against the Connecticut Sun in June that she may have really earned the nickname Team Protector. Cunningham passionately intervened when opponents shoved and poked Caitlin Clark, tackling JCS Sheldon in a brawl that resulted in her expulsion and fines. Her fever jersey became the franchise's best-selling item after that unvarnished act catapulted her into viral fame and increased her social media following by hundreds of thousands. She was more than simply a player all of a sudden. She served as Clark's enforcer and was a representation of tenacity and loyalty. Coaches and teammates complimented her professionalism and voice during interviews. She is one of the top shooters in our league and a fierce competitor, according to General Manager Amber Cox. Because of her resilience and adaptability, Coach Stephanie White called her an X-Factor. Caitlin Clark, a teammate, put it like way, her energy is unmatched. Her esteem and importance in Indiana are evident in the front office, coaching staff, and locker room alignment. Cunningham uses her platform to serve the community off the court. In order to help local female athletes obtain recognition, something she feels the Midwest deserves more of, she founded the Sophie Cunningham Classic, a high school showcase. Everyone is buzzing about Sophie Cunningham's live TV moment, but was it a brave truth or an overreach? What does that signify for the team going forward? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.